All right, kitty. Don't work too hard, okay? Enjoy the chair. Didn't mean to wake you up. All right, you have a good one. All right, here we go. Thursday, December 11th, 2025. Welcome to the Please Subscribe Show. I'm Cole Spivey. I'm gonna go ahead and get it out of the way right now. So please subscribe. And then if you'd like to support the channel, feel free, or artist, PayPal goes right here. So just use that PayPal and that'll support our channel. And then also hit the notifying bell so you get the next video. All right, so I'm resetting accumulating info. From yesterday it said 70 something. I don't know how accurate that is. Probably, maybe closer to 90. I might have reset it in the middle of it. December 11th, 2025, weather. Okay, I always do kind of a weather report. So 61 degrees Fahrenheit, high of 67, a low of 37. Now that's basically what's showing on the weather app, the Apple weather app. This one is the weather bug. It's showing 67, and it's gonna be a high of 69, a low of 46. So I don't know, 37 is different than 46 on a low. All right, what's been going on? I didn't get to watch any movies, I think I searched for some. I guess Gene Simmons went before Congress and started talking about musicians and radio, because he's a diehard musician. He supports the musicians, and he wants the radio to pay up. Radio, you know, when they play music, band music. I wish they played some Linda and Cole band, but that was our band. I'm going to tell you something, though. I respect Gene Simmons for being brave. His son was there with him, and my hat's off to the man. He goes up for our country and supports all the musicians. I almost had tears in my eyes. That actually inspired me, seeing that. Here's the butterfly right there. I just have to acknowledge to nature, and it's not a real butterfly, but let's just pretend. But I got inspired, and I picked up the guitar, and I had this old song called "The Sun Will Rain." I played it for my second wife when I first met her. I worked on it in Maine, and it was interesting that I was talking about Courtney Barnett, because those two chords that she uses into Preston, that's what set it off, because I used those two chords for the opening part of that song. And so I got tears in my eyes, and I started trying to recall it, because I didn't write down the music. I wrote down the lyrics only. I posted it on my Facebook just recently, and I started trying to recall it. I don't know, you know, the music, I think, is the most important thing. I think that's what everyone wants. It's about the music. I think Billy Corgan said that one time in a concert. He said, F all this stuff, it's all about the music, you know? But music is our direct link to God. It really is, you know? And so it's in the churches, it's outside the churches, it's in the stadiums, and I'm proud of the lead singer of Kiss, Gene Simmons. Oh, no, he's not the lead singer, I'm sorry. That's Paul Stanley. That'd be Paul Stanley. He did do some lead songs, but one of the congressmen, it was his Senate. I'm sorry, it was one of the Senate guys liked one of his songs. I was thinking of the one. I think it was on Blind. I think it's my favorite Gene Simmons songs out of all of them. But he sang lead on that. But he's the bass player of Kiss. Sorry about that. A lot of people think he's the lead singer. It's Paul Stanley. But anyway, I think it's great. Maybe the radio does owe, I don't know. He said something about $14 billion, something. I don't know what's going on with the radio. I have no idea. He did make, it's a brilliant, he was very serious. They were laughing, they were kind of laughing. There's some funny things that were said, but he stayed serious through all of it. And he was talking about how the musician is sometimes helpless to the industry on the commercial side, on the legal side. We're talking about copyright and things. This is a big thing I deal with every day when I turn the radio on, or if I play a song. And I was talking about last night that I have to protect that copyright, or I'll get hit with something on the show. It'll remind me, no, you can't use that. And I've had content blocks, even on audio readings of like Harry Potter and stuff. That's still music, right? So you write something, it belongs to that musician. I think that's what Gene Simmons was talking about. It belongs to that person for going out on on the very edge of life and taking that risk and my grandma played piano. Mimar, that's what we called her. She played piano and she'd practice, but she was scared to death to go before her peers and before an audience to play the piano. And the fear that the musician has to overcome just to do that alone is beyond what you would believe. But she still played piano. And there's some of them that are more recording artists, you know, and then there's some of them that do well live. And he mentioned that with the Grateful Dead, that they could hold their own playing live. And then some, you know, maybe need the radio, or some are recording artists. It's a really cool, let's see if maybe I can find it. I know it's going to be on my history. It just came to me, and I just think it was cool because it was a musician representing other musicians. Here he is right here. So, I don't know if you tap on it, if it says anything. There's a little Amazon advertisement. I'm trying to get past that. And it was on the news. There's another advertisement. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties, part of the show. I have to hit skip here. Okay, there we go. So we can hit skip and go right to it. Watch Gene. Oh, it was 2 days ago. Okay, I'm behind 2 days. Sorry about that. Watch Gene Simmons' best moments before Congress is what I saw. So there's probably a real post of that musicians need to watch. This is on live Fox News. But that's kind of what I usually kind of be honest, tell you what's going on. And Linda and I, we never performed live, but we did do quite a bit of recordings on SoundCloud. We have a demo on SoundCloud, the Linda and Cole Band. I don't know, some of it sounded like maybe like children's music, and then it didn't bother me because of that, because Bowie started off that way. So maybe sounded childish and stuff, and maybe some of the songs were serious, I don't know. But it's amazing how hard it can get, you know, and how much you love something. So I kind of got emotional about trying to recall this one song, because it's been some time. Looks like someone back there. All right, this is part of the show where you get to watch me pick up food, drop it off at your doorstep. There's things going around town that looks really interesting. One of these things is the Myth in Marble at the Kimball Art Museum. That looks brilliant. You know, I support all types of art, you know, visual, audio, music, writing. Yeah, and I did still tapping around the novel, and there is a rock star kind of character in the novel, but he's a failed rock star. This guy in Seattle that had to leave and all this stuff. Okay, so Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer is going on, and then The Wizard of Oz will go on January 23rd to February 15th. But I don't, you know, talking about the novel, it can get kind of exhausting. But I did post some stuff, and I'm going to post a couple other chapters coming up. All right, here we go. All right. McDonald's on the way, 5:31 arrival, 5 minutes, 1.6 miles for the pickup. Makes me kind of wonder what Gene Simmons was up there talking to the Senate about, but about the radio a long time ago, probably during his age, because he came out of New York with the band, and I got some valuable information about him, about how he was kind of the manager of the band and was dealing with their finances and everything to keep it promoted, to keep it going. But back then, getting on the radio was probably like pretty much everything, you know, to a band. So they probably kept their chops up constantly because they didn't know when the next radio play was going to get accepted. And then they became iconic. About to pass an area they played at on the End of the Road tour, right up here. Yeah, so Kiss actually came here, and they played at the Dickies Arena, Fort Worth, on the End of the Road tour. I heard it was wild. I saw some of it on YouTube. But that's Dickies right there. McDonald's on the way, 5:46 arrival, 10 minutes, 1.7 mile for the delivery. right, pick up a Christmas tree at Farrington Field, Optimist Club. Only got a few weeks. Oh, there's insomnia cookies. I think this is going to the state, and it's kind of like an old folks home, retirement center. It's right next to the Resident Inn Marriott. Staten. Gloria's Latin Cuisine, 5:52 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.5 mile for the pickup. Pretty nice place for retirement. Alright, here's Gloria's Latin Cuisine. Right here in Montgomery. Look at that Christmas tree. Gloria's Cuisine on its way. 6:08 arrival, 7 minutes, 1.9 mile for the delivery. This is what we did in, I believe, Carrollton. A little bit in Fort Worth, but mostly Carrollton, Texas. The river by Galilee may be a pretty good one. It's a demo. That's some of it. You can hit See All right here. Wait was one of our opening songs. Mountain High. It's about addiction, alcoholism. So I'm not an alcoholic, but I know that people struggle with it. Cat in the Hat was another one. 10/20/77 was about, it was about the last days of Leonard Skinner. Liberty Bell, I don't have to explain that. Porch Song was about playing songs on the porch. And Heaven was Ivor's song. I think his name is Peter Ivers, wrote for David Lynch. Safe and Sound was original. They're all mostly original. It's mixed in with my playlist. Now there won't be copyright on this because we wrote it.
You wait on me so we can see more of this silly world. The world isn't bad as long as you think happy thoughts and not be sad, and hope for the best every day. See your importance, that you are good every day, and you can make it every way, every day. Wait on you as you wait on me, so we can see more of this silly world. The world isn't bad as long as you think.
All right, Mellow Mushroom on the way. 6:31 arrival. 16 minutes, 5.1 miles for the pickup. So the thing about that song is that I was watching NPR music, Tiny Desk Music, and I saw this lady playing guitar, and she did this change up, and I liked the change up, and I was trying to kind of mimic her change up on a few chords. It was like 3 different chords, and the way that she went to the other chord really quickly. And I started fooling with that, and then we came up with Wait. And I wrote the lyrics to all the Linda and Cole Band songs, pretty much almost all of them, but a few. Linda did write a few of them. She wrote, She Passed Out. She wrote that song. That was improv by her. And a few others, she had improv moments too. A lot of the chord stuff and the chorus stuff I wrote on it for a while. It's terribly, terribly hard to keep it going. But something in you sometimes wants to go back and try to rekindle the moments of when you're discovering music and finding the passion to create it and play it hundreds of times over and over again. This one suits the moment. It's actually called Pizza.
Pizza, pizza, pizza everywhere. Pizza, pizza, pizza in my hair. Pizza, pizza, pizza in the room. Pizza, pizza, pizza with mushroom. Pizza, 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 pie. Pizza, 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 pizza in the sky. Pizza, 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 pizza makes me high. Pizza, 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 one little piece or the whole pie. Pizza in my eye. Pizza, pizza, please. A little piece for me. Pizza, pizza, please. One more slice for me. One more slice for me.
What crust will I choose? Thin hand crust, pan rising crust. I will choose
Pizza everywhere. Pizza, pizza, pizza in my hair. Pizza, pizza, pizza in the room. Pizza, 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 pizza with mushroom.
Pizza, 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 pizza pie. Pizza, 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 pizza in the sky. Pizza, 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 pizza makes my high. Pizza, 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 pizza. One little piece or the whole pie. Pizza in my eye. Pizza, pizza, please. Little piece for me. Pizza, pizza, please. One more slice for me.
One more slice for me.
One more slice for me.
And this is the Kiss song that I liked. I'm not going to play it because it's copyright, but Going Blind is a pretty good one. I can show it. This one's actually even a better version of it. It's not a studio one, but it kind of is. It's the Kiss MTV Unplugged Going Blind. Years later, he did this one. They also have some YouTube footage of them before they went on, where they ordered these black and white cookies. It's pretty funny. But this was actually a pretty good version of it. Going through TCU to pick up the mellow mushroom. Okay, a full house or mellow mushroom. Lose the light, then gain the light. Staying street light. This was to light up the parking lot. It's like completely dark. All right. That was from Cat in the Hat, the Linda Cole Band. 6:48 arrival for the mellow mushroom pizza. 6 minutes, 1.6 miles on our way.
The secrets to the sweet cane sugar. You know the secrets to the jelly roll fat. That is that. And that's was the bud that flew free high, and now has to lay down and surely die. Couldn't change. Bam! Remember that line about young was so great. This little snow globe, Christmas stuff. It's like an inflatable snow globe. All right, 7-Eleven ID check, 6:54 arrival, 2 minutes, 0.7 for the pickup. Coming up on a Christmas tree with lights.
what I love about Christmas lights is like, for some people, this is like sometimes the only festive thing they get of Christmas. You know, at least they go to Grand Prairie Lights or something like that. They always have these neighborhoods they can drive by and look at Christmas lights. It's a nice thing. It's meant to be seen. All right, 7-Eleven on its way, 7:03, 4 minutes, 1.4 for the delivery. There goes the polar bear. There's a little Frosty the Snowman. And a manger. We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Little Christmas tree. Isn't that cute? Just makes you all warm inside. Tis the season. It's like one of those gingerbread houses. All right, got one at Papado's. 713 arrival, 4 minutes, 1.1 mile for the pickup. Vroom, vroom. A lot of traffic right there. Going into Fort Worth, Trinity. Leads to the Trinity River right there. There's two big restaurants here, Papacitos and Papados. We're going to the second one, which is more of like seafood. Papacitos has like a party room, their cantina, mostly like, I don't know, Tex-Mex. And Papados is a seafood kitchen. They've got a banquet room. And lots of music. So gift cards, buy $50 gift cards, $10 reward card. Cool. Papado Seafood Kitchen. Alligator, stuffed crabs, catfish, and oysters, po' boy. Thing called Dashing Through the Dough gift cards. You buy $50 with a $10 free. Look at QR. It's pretty good. Really cool courtyard too. Cool flowers. Pretty big order of shrimp and all kinds of stuff. Papado's on the way. 7:39, 14 minutes, 5.9 miles for the delivery. Some passageway that way. Looks like cars are going beside them. They're all trying to go, I think, to the botanical gardens, probably. There's a festival going on there, a Christmas festival. It's just like Christmas and the lights in the botanic gardens. Let's see how far it is. It looks like maybe a way around them. Right center. Looks like we gotta get to the thick of it. Let's see if we can get around. That's not gonna help either. But the fast lane, or the far left lane, looks like it's got room to go on. So I'll have to try to get in here and just squeeze over. Do appreciate it. He's gonna be room right there. Red and the blue. Peppermint will help. Another bull bear. Bull bear's out tonight. Big ol', that's a big ol' reindeer right there. Tell us about your grandma.
She's pretty awesome. 5'10". She laughs at everything. Love to see her before she dies. She won't die anytime soon because she's a strong woman.
Kitty, don't eat their seafood. All right, got a Panda, 752, 4 minutes, 1.5 miles for the pickup. Looks like we have a downed snowman. Snowman has hit the ground face first. Hopefully he'll be okay. on Cloudview. They'll probably pick him up here pretty soon. Maybe he had too much eggnog. Yeah, it's really festive. Cloudview is kind of a festive street. Drive. It's a drive. Cloudview Drive. It's a festive drive. There's a little Santa with a mustache. Santas with the mustache have been around. And then there's a one with the mustache and beard, but it looks like he's wearing kind of a wig. Not a wig, but a fake beard, mustache. All right, this Panda's on its way. The TCU dorm that has the blue door. 8:06, arrival 6 minutes, 1.8 miles for the delivery. I do a lot of purple lights. Christmas time. Noticed that this year more than other years. You know, the closer you get to the university, the more purple Christmas lights you see. It's a cool looking tree. There's the campus. I think it's telling me to go down this way. I'm trying to see if it stops right there. The purple doors. Hang on for a second. I think it's having me stop right there. It actually is at Kent Road, so it's not this way, even though it's saying that it is. Or I may be thinking of the blue doors. I think I am thinking of the blue doors. Alright, so that is correct. Let me recenter. Yeah, it is. Okay. Alright, this is Pond Drive here. Saying the SK house has purple doors. I was thinking the blue doors. One that has blue doors. That says EK on it right there. That might be SK. Doors right there. That's the SK. This is the very end of Pond Drive right here. And the SK house is right there. You can kind of see it right here.
Run that band.
Yep, these are all purple lights right here. And that's AMFA Stadium. It says so out front. Probably go this way. We'll just turn down this. It's busier down this way. Oh no, Shake Shack. I was already here, so it's about, I don't know, 150 yards. 8:28 for the pickup. And holiday shakes. We got the sticky toffee pudding, peppermint bark chocolate with crackable white chocolate shells, and the Christmas cookie. Looks pretty good. All right, Shake Shack on the way. 8:49 arrival, 14 minutes, 9.8 miles for the delivery.
To the new acquaintance on the ground that he is, in some unspecified way, doing these people good by the mere fact of drinking their cocktails and laughing at their jokes, and that to cease to... What the real cause is, we do not know. Something like it is expressed in much of that detestable art which the humans call music, and something like it occurs in heaven, a meaningless acceleration in the rhythm of celestial experience, quite opaque to us. Laughter of this kind does us no good and should always be discouraged. Besides, the phenomenon is of itself disgusting and a direct insult to the realism, dignity, and austerity.
I was just writing about this in my novel because Jed faces his father and tells him, you know, that he had to stop trying to be a rock star because it wasn't really paying him anything. He was a failed musician. So he's offered this sniper instructor position with this militia. And he's kind of talking to his dad right now, you know, the character Jed in the story, about the musician would have been the more peaceful way, you know. It's kind of like he had to put it aside and become a soldier at that moment. It's kind of like he's teetering in this scene because he plays the guitar for him. You know, he wants to go back to the peaceful way. Shakespeare talked about it. There's an age of the lover and the age of the soldier and the age of the old man kind of thing. But that's what in Screwtape Letters he's talking about, the demons wanting to discourage others from music. Because music is played in heaven. You know, that's just very interesting.
Austerity of hell. Fun is closely related to joy, a sort of emotional froth arising from the play instinct. It is very admiration of his fellows, if only it can get itself treated as a joke. And this temptation can be almost entirely hidden from your patient by that English seriousness about humor. Any suggestion that there might be too much of it can be represented to him as puritanical,
or as betraying a lack of humor. But he can still be made to think of himself as one who has adopted a few new friends and amusements, but whose spiritual state is much the same as it was 6 weeks ago. And while he thinks that, we do not have to contend with the explicit repentance of a definite, fully recognized sin, but only with his vague, though uneasy feeling that he hasn't been doing very well lately. This
So the most important thing about Screw Tape, or one of the things that he shows importance on it to in the letters to his nephew Wormwood, is the discouragement of the believer in certain things to try to win them over. So things that are good, he would call evil. Does that throughout it's kind of a play on the mind a little bit, the way that you listen to it, because you have to realize it's coming from the point of view of a demon trying to train his nephew demon to discourage the believer away from the church and away from his beliefs so they can win his soul over. It's like a fight, and he calls, the good people of the church and of God, he calls them the enemy, when the other way around is they would call, the demon's enemy. The people of the church would call the demons the enemy. It's kind of creepy, but it is educational on certain theology. C.S. Lewis wrote it. It's very it kind of makes you think, about. My mom once said that this is all a war of thoughts. When it comes to spiritualism and the belief in God and Jesus and stuff like that. But it's more than just thought, though. It's also faith and hope. Is a big part of it. It's definitely It's definitely something to listen to. If you've listened to C.S. Lewis stuff, if you like that kind of stuff, there's an entertainment aspect to it, but also a spiritual lesson, kind of, and preparing yourself for spiritual warfare. A lot of Scrooge this year. Sorry, Grinch. Sorry, it's Grinch. The Grinch. A lot of Grinch. There's a cool Santa Claus with shades and some type of, I don't know, is it like a ball of some type? Something in his hand, I don't know what it was. A present, I think it was, it was like a yellow ball for a gift. Somebody. If you walk this way, there's a snowman. There's an abominable snowman right there. There's a North Pole scene. Frosty with a candy cane. I'm burning. And there's another ghostly Santa. And snowman. All right, got one at Popeyes. 9:06 arrival, 2 minutes, 0.4 for the pickup. They got a $20 family meal, 9-piece signature chicken tenders, large side, and 4 biscuits. $20. Andrew Jackson. Popeyes on the way. 9:16 arrival, 4 minutes, 1.1 mile for the drop-off. All right, Sakura Japanese restaurant on our way, 9:21, 2 minutes, 0.9 miles for the pickup. Sakura Japanese. Sakura Japanese going to Milton Hall, 9:42 arrival, 15 minutes, 8.1 mile for the delivery.
Long run, the less he will be able to feel. Your affectionate uncle, Screwtape. This book is continued on disc 2. The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis, continued, disc 2. 14. My dear Wormwood, the most alarming thing
So Milton Hall is kind of a tricky one. If you go down past Bel Air and stay on Stadium, there's a little turn-in point. It'll take you right to the edge of Milton Hall. It's coming up right here. It's a little secret passage. It's got a bike rack. I think this is it right here. I'll readjust in just a minute. It's shaped kind of like an E, and it's right there. There's the bike rack, and that's Milton right there. This should be Milton right here. It's shaped kind of like an E. So that is Milton Hall on the corner. And they'll sometimes do the drop right there or around the side. There's kind of like a little commons area that has like these steps that go up you can kind of sit on. And this is the area that goes to Stadium. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it's kind of like a hidden road almost. Right next to W.A. Moncrief. W.A. Tex Moncrief Jr. You can get in through that way. Milton. Other than that, you have to walk pretty much all the way across the campus. And the parking's not always open if there's a game on. That's usually the Milton drop. We'll go right to the dorm. All right. Got a new one. Little Caesars on our way. 9:51 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.9 mile for the pickup. Another one from Insomnia Cookies after we pick up this one. Insomnia is right next door. Insomnia cookies on. Little Caesar on the way. 2:09 arrival. 8 minutes. 3 miles for the delivery. Supposedly an elevator over here. The elevator. All right, Insomnia Cookies on the way. 10:21 arrival, 6 minutes, 1.8 mile for the delivery. And that's where the cookies go. Insomnia Cookies on our way. 10:29 arrival, 3 minutes, 0.7 mile for the pickup. They had a pretty big Halloween display. They're pretty good for Christmas. That's a cool little antique car. Christmas lights. All right, Insomnia Cookies is right on Magnolia. Insomnia Cookies. It's right down over here. Right there. Oh, they got a holiday munchie mix. All right, Insomnia Cookies on the way. 10:50 arrival, 15 minutes, 10 miles for the delivery. cover alert, red Toyota, 871043 coming out of San Antonio. That's the last one. We're gonna go ahead and head back. I'm listening to C.S. Lewis, Screw Tape Letters. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I like it. It's like so this head demon named Screw Tape writes to his nephew Wormwood about how to basically, they call him the patient, like a member of the church or a believer, how to win them over to the dark side. But it's kind of a, like I said, like a war of thoughts. You know, it's a weird thing. It's like C.S. Lewis was very creative in writing it. It's kind of entertaining, and there is some humor to it. You can't take it too serious, though.
Darkness panacea can be detected under all he does and even all he is, or claims to be. Thus he is not content, even himself, to be a sheer arithmetical unity. He claims to be three as well as one, in order that this nonsense about love may find a foothold in his own nature. At the other end of the scale,
Here's Kitty. Hang tight, Kitty. Mr. Kitty, Mr. Edmund, this is not your food. This is actually the outdoor food. I got it reduced for 30 cents. So they're going to have some Friskies, and you're going to have to hold your horses. All right, Kitty?
There we go. It's a good kitty. Here we go. Come on. Go.
With today's kitty, there's one kitty, 9 lives, and each cat life has a number. Numbers 1 through 9. And swirl the cat food. And pick a cat food. Today's kitty will be having fancy feast, gravy lovers, turkey feast and gravy. Here we go. You like this stuff. exactly last night. So we're going to do 2 scoops. 1 and 2. That should be about enough. Put it right here. There you go. There we go, kitty. And I'm not going to show this, but I'm just going to have like half of this pizza, so it'll be, I don't know, 2 big slices. That'd be 640 in calories. Sun-dried tomatoes right here. They're halves tomatoes and spinach. And I'm gonna add a little bit of this chicken and sprinkle some of this shredded Asiago on there. And that's pretty much my dinner. Some of the Asiago, just spread it right on there. That's a cheese pizza. I think the brand was, I don't remember the brand. Check it out in a minute. I just microwave that for a little bit of time. Probably do about a minute. It's Red Baron cheese. Cheese trio is what they call it. I'm not having that much, which not. Kitty, you know better. Monkey. Nice water now. Alright. So I added chicken, spinach, sun-dried tomatoes, and Asiago cheese. And I kind of, I don't know, it's not a full pizza, so it's only like half a slice, but I figured I'd try it. I got some tea. Some ranch. I get some more ranch eventually. Let's see. There I am. Okay. Stuff about the news. Maddie Van Halen's getting a new travel trailer. Hugh Jackman is playing Neil Diamond. That looks like the eye of Courtney Barnett. City looks pretty. New Mexico, the dark side of Soho. Oh, I don't know. Pouring Rain. Bucks versus Saints. The Genius of Flea. Third Eye Blind. I don't know. Maybe the news or something. Oh, there's Mighty Wind. Tried watching that again. I gotta be in a certain mood for Mighty Wind.